and welcome to Rowan College at Burlington County Accounting's Day event. I am your host, Assistant Professor Tina Burrell, also Chair of the Accounting Department. Today we are honoring International Accounting Day. It is on this day that people recognize those that are in the accounting profession. The American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, as well as the AICPA, is an institute that honors those individuals that have worked as CPAs in the past, that are current CPAs, and those individuals that are just obtaining their CPA license. Today, we will honor International Accounting Day by having guest panelist discussion. We have two individuals that are accounting professions that are going to share their stories as well as clear up some myths about the accounting profession. So I hope you enjoy today's event and welcome to International Accounting Day. I want to welcome my guest panelists, Ms. Sheike Sharpe, Ms. Jennifer Hodder. I would like you guys to introduce yourselves, explain your careers, and share any interests or hobbies that you may have about yourself. Okay, so we'll start off with Ms. Sheike Sharpe.
Thank you, Tina. I'm Sheike Sharpe. I'm a CPA. I'm also a CFE, Certified Fraud Examiner. I'm the owner of Sheike Sharpe Consulting, and we provide accounting, tax services to small businesses and individuals, as well as forensic accounting to small businesses and individuals. In my free time, I do work on my foundation, which is Future Bright Foundation. It's a foundation that I created back in 2015 to help children that are living in the community that I'm from, originally in Jamaica, that may need help with school supplies. So that is the main focus for Future Bright Foundation, and I spend a lot of my free time doing that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that background with us. Now, our other guest panelist, Jennifer Hodder, would you like to share a little bit more about your career path and your interests as well?
Yes, I own Burlington Business Solutions. I have been in business for over 20 years. I graduated from BCC with my associate in business administration. I then went on to Rutgers University in Camden and got my School of Business degree, Bachelor's of Science in Accounting. I started my business in 1999 is when I started doing it on my own. I had small kids, started off doing it part-time. I then got my EA and got licensed by the IRS with my enrolled agent certificate. I've been practicing basically tax law is really what I deal with the IRS mainly. I also do bookkeeping for small businesses and help some underprivileged areas in my community, and also retirees for free as a I don't know how to say that, sorry.
That's okay.
So I travel a lot. I enjoy fishing and boating, and I do that on the side.
Awesome. Thank you so much, both of you, all for sharing the information about yourself, so we now can put a face to the profession and see there are real individuals with real life responsibilities that does more than just what they do in the accounting field. So thank you guys so very much. Now we're able to jump into the discussion, the meat and potatoes, exploring the myths of the accounting profession. Oh, there are so many. There are so many. But we were only able to narrow down about 4 of them. So we'll give about, a 10-minute discussion on each, and any vital input you want to contribute to these myths would be helpful. Okay. Our first myth, I hear a lot of students as well as individuals say that math is the same as accounting. Is that true?
No,
Take it away,
I don't
ladies.
think it is.
No?
I think I only
That's not
took
true.
one math class the entire time I was in college. So, but accounting is it's investigation math. I could that you're finding numbers and you're showing how the cash flows through different accounts. That's really the math that you do most of the time, with the exception of some depreciation and other items. But it's not a math. You do not have to be efficient in math in order to do that. You just have to, you need to know the basic skills of math. You don't need the calculus or the trigonometry. That doesn't play usually in the field. So math isn't as important as the basic reconciling your bank book and that kind of math.
That is so true.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll definitely agree with Jennifer. I think because they see numbers or they hear about numbers, they think, okay, it's math. For me, I did my bachelor's in accounting. I did my master's in forensic accounting, which is totally investigative, like, fraud and stuff like that, which is not math. I started my career at a Big Four accounting firm, and I started in auditing, which is totally different from math. Yes, the numbers are there, but you have to know how to write your reports. You have to know how to analyze data. So it's definitely more than just math, for sure.
I agree. I agree with both of you. And what I, on average, tell my students that if you can add, subtract, divide, that's the most.
We use calculators.
Yeah.
Like, I use my calculators all the time. So you don't really need to know how to do those at your head, calculators are there.
Yeah, so don't focus too much on the calculations. Once you do your add, subtraction, divide, multiplication, and you get your numbers, now what does this number mean? Okay, as it relates to the financial statements, as it relates to recording journal entries, as it relates to investigation, what does it mean? That's the most important thing, not the physical calculations. So I tell students, get away from the calculations. I know you want to know how to finish this problem and complete this problem, but once you get it, what does it mean? And we go from there. That's where the accounting part begins.
Exactly.
So thank you. So glad we cleared up this myth. Math is not accounting. Math is math, which is calculus, algebra, trigonometry.
Yep.
And accounting is tax, auditing, financial accounting.
Correct.
Good.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for clearing up that first myth. Our second myth, we have here individuals saying that accountants are boring. We're boring. No life. We have no social skills. We just are bean pushers. You heard that, and that's it. Ladies, please clear up this myth that accountants are boring.
So that is not true. I feel like you're going to be the type of accountant based on your personality. So you're not going to be a jovial, fun person, and then just because you go into accounting, it's like a switch turn and you become a boring person. That's not true. For myself, I'm literally the life of the party. If I have a family gathering or if I go to a party, I'm the first one who's going to be like, we should take a shot, It's a party, let's celebrate. So I'm totally far from being boring. I think though, accountants or people who become accountants are usually more conservative. Like on a daily basis, you wouldn't see me with like bright green hair or purple hair. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that. Like, people personality shows differently, and you would not see me doing that. And I think I'm conservative, and I feel like most accountants are, but it doesn't mean that outside of the accounting profession, I'm not a fun person, So it's totally false. And you will be the type of accountant that you are, So if you're a fun person, you're going to be a fun accountant, So it's definitely not true.
True. Jennifer, are you boring?
I am not boring, and I don't consider accounting boring. I enjoy the aspect that I enjoy about accounting is you get to meet people and find out a lot about their lives when you do their taxes. And you know, you could become a psychologist sometimes when you're there. So, you
You're
know, but
everything.
it's meeting people and I go out to dinner and I always meet somebody. I went out on a cruise and one of my clients was on the cruise boat and they recognized me, not me recognizing them. So you get to meet a lot of people and that's what I do like about accounting. So I don't think it's boring. I don't, you know, I still do everything that I used to do. You know, my kids think it's boring, but not me.
My husband thinks it's boring.
Yes, yes, and all the other family members, when they need someone, they come directly to you when it comes to
Exactly.
taxes and math
Yes.
questions. Like you are other than that,
Exactly.
they don't have any use for
Yeah.
anything like that. I agree. Accountants are not boring. We're people
Mhm.
too. We have lives just like everyone else, and we're kind of versatile because we are able to take our careers as an accountant and go many different individuals. You don't
Exactly.
have to just do tax or just do auditing. You can do financial. You can do something accountant related.
Exactly. You could, in the accounting industry, you can become anything from a teacher to working for the FBI. I mean, there are
Right.
so many different aspects of accounting that people don't realize that there are. I mean, you can pretty much go anywhere. If you wanted to be an attorney but decided to do accounting,
Yes.
tax accounting is yours because that's what you're doing. You're pretty much acting, you have as an EA, I have the same abilities as an attorney to go in front of the IRS, you know, and fight for a case that I might think is correct to help my clients out. So you can be anything you want to be in accounting. Accounting is the starting of any type of business. You can be your own business. You can go into any type of business you want to, and accounting is your starting point. So.
I totally agree. And Jennifer, that was the mindset when I was searching for my career when I was doing undergrad. And at the time, and we know college has evolved over times, and there's much more different majors now than where when I went
Yeah.
to school. But when you went into the avenue of business, it was either business or accounting. It just one of the two.
Exactly.
We didn't have all the other things. And so I just thought to myself, well, if I go and major in accounting, then no matter what opportunity I choose, I should be okay. Because like you said, I will
Right.
have the foundations. And that has been true so far, going from operating in corporate accounting sector to now in higher ed education.
Mhm.
So definitely, it's not boring. It's not boring. Okay, now we move on to the third myth, which is majoring in accounting will limit my career options. That's a good one that leads us right into what we were discussing. That if students major in accounting, that limits their career options. Like that's all they can be. They can't be anything else. Let's clear that up for them.
Right. So that is not true. Like Jennifer touched on that a little bit just now, where you can be a teacher, you can be a lawyer, a tax lawyer, you can be different things. For example, for me, I started out in accounting, I started out in audit, then I was in tax, then I'm in forensic accounting. So it's so many different things or so many different pathway to in accounting. So when you become an accountant, like you said, you could teach accounting. I teach online classes as well. So I teach accounting. I do accounting and bookkeeping. I do forensic accounting for small businesses. So there's so many different paths. And Jennifer said she practices before IRS, EAs, CPAs. If something goes wrong with a client, we can go in front of IRS and, like she said, we can argue the case like a lawyer. Like we literally gonna be standing there and fighting for our clients just like a lawyer. And you can take another step. You can do a tax law degree, right? And then become a tax attorney. So there's so many pathways. Like I feel like accounting has the most pathways career-wise than any other major in colleges.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So I
But
worked in
but
private.
before you get started, Jennifer, I just want to say, because my ultimate goal is to be a CNN commentator, an expert, that they invite on CNN.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal, but we're working towards that career goal right now. But go ahead. What were you saying?
So what I was going to say was that I started in private industry. So basically, I work for a lot of small private industries. I didn't go into the public accountant at the time. When I graduated, I got married and then had kids. So I wanted to be home. So I was able, it gave me that ability to be able to do that. But working in private industry is great because you get to do something different every day. So owning my own practice now, I work on 30 to 40 different companies. So I'm
Wow.
not doing the same thing, same every day, like the same company
Right.
every day. I'm working in different industries. That's what I liked about it because I did go in to working for like a corporation and did accounts receivable. Well, that's what all you did. So
Yes.
people say you're going to do account. I was bored with accounts receivable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I like having my own practice and doing taxes. The taxes allows you to work with different people, different clients. You're taking on a different project every day, and that's where accounting it makes it very interesting if you're taking on different projects every day.
Right.
Instead of just doing the same old, and it does take you to many different industries because any organization, big or small, profit or nonprofit,
Yeah.
corporate or
They need an
otherwise,
accountant.
needs
Yes.
an accountant or accountant department. Either you're on site as an accountant that's working for that organization, or they outsource that duties to, as you say, to you or
Right.
Correct.
to any individual. So that's great because I've worked in industries that went from working into the hospital environment, education environment, logistics environment.
Mhm.
It was endless. Utilities. It didn't
Yeah.
matter what organization I worked for. There was an opportunity there.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that we was definitely able to clear up that myth for majoring in accounting will limit your career paths and options. No, it won't. And then hopefully students will see all this information we shared with them today about the profession and get excited. All right. One of our last myths we have here is the myth of I need to know about taxes to be an accountant. You
Well,
need
I
to
guess
know
Jennifer
about
and I,
taxes. Right.
we're doing taxes, so we can say you don't. So
Come on,
you,
guys, you're supposed to tell me no.
I mean, we do
No.
taxes, we do other things though. But yeah, you want to go ahead, Jennifer?
Sure. It helps to learn about taxes, but you don't have to know taxes. Usually, if you say you're doing the bookkeeping end of the bookkeeping end of it, they may have another tax person that does it. So you're just doing the bookkeeping end. So depending on what aspect you come in on, but accounting, when you get to payroll and sales tax, taxes are in there somewhere. As far as if you have to do a state audit, you kind of have to know, what's taxable, what's not taxable when you get into private industry. But you do not need to know tax law. Normally, if that's not your expertise, they'll have somebody that actually does that. So.
Right. So you're definitely going to do tax classes. If you're majoring in accounting, you're going to do tax classes. But even for myself, working with, I was working for one of the big four accounting firms, and people hear CPAs. And when I was in audit, we'll have our visit time January through April. And people are like, oh, that's because you do taxes. And I'm like, no, I don't do taxes. At the time I didn't. I'm like, it's most year end is December 31st. So we're doing financial statements audits, and it's around that time. We do have fiscal years as well, but so people automatically think, okay, you're doing taxes once you're a CPA. And I have CPA friends who actually reach out to me to do their taxes because they don't want to do their own taxes. I'm pretty sure they may be able to do it on some sites online, but
Yeah.
it's not their thing. They're in mergers and acquisitions. They're in audits. They're in forensic accounting. They're in so many different sections of accounting where taxes are not their thing. They don't want to look at it. They don't want to touch it. So you don't have to know taxes. You will do some accounting tax classes for sure, but that is just to get the basics in. Like, you don't have to go the pathway at all. It's a rewarding pathway though if you want to, you know, but you don't have to.
It is there because we know friends or family members that do taxes that are not accountants. They do not have an accountant degree. And they do fine with doing their own personal taxes if choose to be. Keeping up on tax law every year, yes, I believe is important because things change, presidents change, the government change. So keeping up on that information you do need to know. And I believe you need to know some knowledge in taxes and some knowledge in auditing because there's going to be someone that's going to ask you a question. And when they know that you're an accountant, they just shoot the questions like, okay, I got this tax concern, I got this audit concern, I got this, I got someone asked me about a trust. They had a trust concern. The mom had passed away, and how was the trust? I was like, oh, okay, I got you. So they want you to be well-rounded. They do want you to be well-rounded and versed in everything. So having some knowledge in tax is important, but you don't have to, as you guys said, major in that area. It's just not your cup of tea. For me, it's not my cup of tea. Jennifer, I applaud you, and I applaud you as well, Sheike, for dealing with clients. I'm not a client person. And with individuals, you have to be a special person to deal with clients during tax season. Yes.
It's not my favorite part of my job, though. It's not my favorite part of my job. Like, I wish I could just sit behind my computer and do my work and have someone else deal with the clients. But I do have nice clients. They're not all bad. There are really sweet clients, organized clients. I love those. Those who they'll come in with their financial.
There's not many of those, but
I know. I got one last year. And I said, I will need to hire you. Like, her bookkeeping was impeccable. Like, she did it all by herself, and that's not her thing. I think she's I don't remember what she does, but that's not her thing. But she had everything written down, all her estimates, the dates they were made, every single thing. And I was like, oh my gosh. So you don't get many of those, but when you do, you're like, oh yeah.
When it's personal to you, you tend to care for your finances, you know. Again, sometimes they say accountants are the worst budgeters, or accountants are the worst person in their household finances. Yes, you can do other people's finances, but when it comes to your own, you're just a mess. Just like doctors are the worst patients.
And I have my own account that I have to get stuff together for. So
yes, and you just like,
I don't even do my own taxes because I'm self-employed and my husband's self-employed. So we send it to an accountant.
I do my own taxes. I'm very organized. I have my budget. My husband hates all of this because I have a budget and he can't go out of the budget. You know, so I stick with that. When it's tax time, I get my taxes done first. When it's time to make quarterly estimated payments, I pay mine first before working on my clients.
Right.
Yeah. I'm in groups with other CPAs, and it'll be October 15th, and they're like, guess what? I forgot I did to file my own taxes. I'm like, you say what? Like, I did that October 1st, you know, so I get it out of the way so I can focus on my clients. That's just me. But again, not everyone is like that.
Yeah.
Yes, not everyone. And no, I ship mine out. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to see it. I do, like you said, I do, if I have to make estimated payments, I am kind of trying to be responsible on that end because no one wants to owe the IRS. No.
Right.
Between the IRS and student loan, forget about it. You're shackled for a long time with
Yeah.
no exceptions. They don't care. You can't give them any excuses. It is what it is. So definitely. And I know that is a main concern, especially when it comes to small businesses. Because small businesses do not have to follow those big accounting principles or how they record their transactions or have financial statements. Their main concern in small businesses is taxes.
Right.
That's it. What I have to do to pay my taxes, when do I have to pay my taxes, and I don't want to pay that much.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the big question.
You
That's
get
the big
those
statement.
type of
I
clients.
don't want to pay as much as I did last year. Well,
Yes.
And don't make that much.
yeah.
Something about that. Last year I said to my husband when I was writing a check for my quarterly, and I said, I hate paying all this money. And he's like, that's a good thing, right? Because if you weren't making money, then you wouldn't need to be making this payment. So I use that on my clients all the time. My husband used it on me, and I started using it on my
That's what I said.
clients.
Stop making money, and then we won't
Yeah.
have to pay any taxes.
Yeah,
Right.
you don't pay any taxes. That's true. And just think about it. If you get a refund and you just receiving back, you just paid a little bit more. But listen, this is how much I owe. This is how much I'm paying. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
let's just make it even. I don't
Right.
want to pay any
Yeah.
more than
And
I need
unfortunately,
to.
everybody's life consists of taxes. So whether you go into accounting or not, you're going to have to
Yes.
deal with taxes one day or another. So,
Right.
you know, to actually know it, you don't for accounting, you don't have to, but you need it for life, you know, even the bookkeeping end, it's all life practices that you have to learn. So,
Well, that's good. Since we're on taxes, and tax season will be coming up real shortly soon. Maybe some corporations quicker than individuals, and a lot of um, financial information in 2021 really affect what's going to come on up this tax season come May. What are some things that you saw this year that you may not have seen any other year that is going to have an impact on individuals filing their taxes? Because I know that I just can hear students, I can hear individuals in my head saying, hey, do I have to pay tax on this? Hey, what about the stimulus? Hey, all those questions. So I know we don't have time for it all, but some very important points that you want to get out there to individuals.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's fine.
So I know you mentioned the stimulus which they had last year. So 2021 is not new. There was a third one, which we will pick up on 2021 taxes next year. So, if people receive those forms from the IRS saying, hey, you did receive this amount in stimulus, keep those forms and give them to your tax preparer, because a lot of times, which I found this past tax season, people said, hey, I didn't receive this money, or I only received this amount, and I filed their taxes. Then their refund was reduced, and they're like, what happened? And then when I look, I'm like, because you said you didn't receive the stimulus check.
I got a couple of those letters too.
I got a call last week. I was like, that is what she's like, but I never received the $600. I'm like, they probably mail it, you didn't get it, so we have to call IRS and figure that out. But keep all those notices that you receive from the IRS. I know a lot of people tend to throw stuff out. The other one is the advanced child tax credit that they're getting monthly. That's gonna create a mess as well. I'm seriously scared. Because
I was hoping they would come up with a portal, because they need a portal that we could go in and look to see what
try and look at it, right? Because there were months that people got missed. People didn't get September, people didn't get October. So it's not like you can say, well, they have a child under 5, let me calculate it and see what they get,
And
so
especially if they have children every other year for divorced people, that's going to be a nightmare.
That's gonna be a mess as well.
Go ahead, Jennifer. What did you want to add about the taxes, stimulus to the child credit?
They also have the last year the seniors didn't have to do the required minimum distributions from their IRAs. This year they're going to have to do those this year too at 72. So
okay, elaborate a little bit on that one, because my mom, she's a senior and she's my only tax client, and she is the reason why I only have one. Okay, so she's going to need to know this.
So the required minimum distribution, basically they allowed them not to have to take it last year. They did not have to take the minimum distribution out of their IRAs. This year they moved the age up to 72 instead of 70 and a half, and they're required to take a minimum distribution at 72 now rather than 70. So depending on their age. But they are going to be required to take that, and they should have gotten notices from their financial institutions as of usually in January, as of what their required minimum distribution was as of 12/31 of 2020.
Okay. And now my mom is retired,
Mm-hmm.
and she really shouldn't be filing at all because she doesn't get anything back. But I'm just trying to see if it's going to affect her or not. She's not 70. She's not 70 yet.
So she doesn't have to take it yet then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to hear any additional information in regards to.
No, and they're currently working on a bill, so we're waiting on that, and hopefully they don't do it March 24th on us again like they did last year.
Right.
That messed us
That
up.
it was in the middle. They're like, okay.
So
Oh.
years ago, they weren't any tax changes they were supposed to have done by October 31st, but for the last, I would say 6 years, they've been making changes like December 31st. And it's been very complicated because we can't tell people at this point, this is what the tax implication, well, this is what I know today. That's what I say to all my clients. This is what I know as of today.
Yeah,
I don't know what tomorrow brings. So
that's true.
That's how it was this tax season. It was like in the middle you could, what was it? Unemployment. That was a big one where they were taxing unemployment and they weren't taxing unemployment, and some states were agreeing with it, some states weren't doing it. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I had so many clients tax return. I was like, can we just wait until after this date before we file? I want to see what other states are doing. So I'm hoping they don't come with that this year. They make all the changes before the end of the year, or implement all the things they're implementing before the end of the year. That will be very helpful to us tax professionals.
And they've been doing extensions the last 2 years, so I don't know what they're going to do this year, but us tax preparers like the extension, so I don't know if they'll continue it or not.
Yes.
Even if they went to the end of April, I think I would be okay. That extra 2 weeks helps. So
for me, I don't like the extension. I want it to just be over.
Right.
Like I just want, it's April 15th. Let's just do it April 15th and we're done. Don't extend it, because then you get people who they're gonna wait until the last minute, So I still held my clients last year, which some of them didn't like it. I was like, my cutoff date is this date, still up to April 15th.
I still did a cutoff date. I'm like, I'm done. Like by May 1st, I was done. If you don't get it in, you're not getting done. So
you have to create your own deadline date, because if not, they won't. And again, is that deadline date for everyone or just for those individuals that owe?
Just for the individuals that, it's
for everyone technically.
Right, but if they don't owe, they don't have to file by that date. Because it's for everybody, but if they owe, they have to file by that date. If they normally got a refund and they're getting a refund for that year, they're okay. You can extend, you don't have to file an extension. So you only file extensions if they owe. You do not have to file if they're getting a refund.
Which is a little bit tricky too, because you file the extension, it's only an extension to file. You still need to pay by that date. So it can get a little
It's still wow. But again, that's for individuals that owe. If I don't oe, I don't
need
to
they don't care if you refund.
They don't care if you file,
Right. Because I have some individuals like, I don't want to owe, and then they wait 2 years or 3 years and then they file their returns or something like that.
But the other thing about that, you want to be careful too, because if you don't file within 3 years, then you cannot get the refund again.
Right, you'll lose your refund.
But the thing is, if you owe, they'll come after you anytime after that date.
And the interest is piling up. I think they raised their rates to like 11%.
Yeah.
They charge, but if they owe you and you file late and get the refund late, you get interest from the IRS.
You do.
Right.
So if you did get an interest, you want to, they're going to send you a 1099 interest
Correct.
form. You do want to hold on to that too. Never
Yeah.
throw out anything that you receive from IRS.
From the
Never.
IRS.
It doesn't matter what it says. Don't throw it out.
Okay, I remember that. I remember that we're covering them. Oh, I know we can go on about taxes. I know we can go on about taxes, but I'm definitely appreciative for both of you for sharing that information about the taxes, because if nothing else, individuals going to ask about that. So that kind of clear up some myths, which are awesome. I then want to open it up to you guys to share any information you want that students should know about the profession, about what you do. If you have any internship opportunities available that you would like to share, and any contact information you want to provide to the audience that will help them. So we'll start off with Jennifer. Any additional closing information you want to share?
Sure. I do hire internships. I have at least 2 openings right now. My contact information is Hodder, BUBUSO @comcast.net. They can send me their resume. It's only part-time, so it's only from January to April 15th. But we are looking for people to come in. The one thing about accounting is you must love it. You must like accounting. You must like what you do. I don't care what profession you guys go into, but if you like what you do, you will be successful all the time. But you really need to like what you do. So when you choose a profession, choose something you enjoy doing.
I agree. And Jennifer, I just want to let you know, I have shared and passed information on to my students. If you have one that come across your desk, let me know that that was interested, and I constantly share it. And again, any information you would like for me to share with the students, because they're always looking for internship opportunities.
Okay.
Always. And especially in the accounting information. I do have some students that work tax at other organizations as well, so they do have tax experience too.
Yeah, I think I got a couple from you this year already, so that's good.
Nice.
And the one that I have that stayed on, she was from you guys last year, so I did very good through RCBC. I will let you know that they were very good interns that I've gotten. They were very educated, more than what I've gone to other 4-year schools and did not get what I got out of RCBC.
Nice.
That's good.
So
I am happy.
you guys are doing a great job.
Good. Now, if you say that the instructor was Professor Tina Burrell, then I'll be even more excited. I don't know if they're happy or not, but we try to see what skills you guys are asking for in the workforce and then provide that. So if you need, some bookkeeping, accounts receivable, accounts payable, taxes, reconciliations, then that's where we are on the first.
Yeah, no, they're coming out really good. So I'm just letting you know.
I'm very happy. Keep sending it. Okay. Sheike, would you like to share any information for students about your profession and your business?
Yeah. So like we mentioned before, there are many pathways that you can take when it comes to accounting. You can become business owners like Jennifer and myself. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can go work in public accounting. You can go work in private accounting, private industry, sorry, and just enjoy it. And like Jennifer said, if you don't like it, if you don't enjoy doing it, then maybe you don't want to do it, as with any majors, because then you get into the field and it's something that you're going to do daily. Your projects may change, your businesses that you work with may change, but it's still the same thing that you do. So you do want to make sure it's something that you like or love. Like I love it. I've been doing it like right in high school. I know that's what I wanted to do. And as I talk to that profession. So, you know, make sure you love it. The other thing, my business contact, you can email me at info@sheikesharpe.com. My website is sheikesharpe.com. And I will definitely reach out to you, Tina, for the tax season coming up. I may need someone to help with taxes and also someone for bookkeeping. So if they know online, QuickBooks Online, that would be perfect.
Yes.
Because that's what I use, QuickBooks Online. So I may need some help in that area and also in tax area.
Awesome. Yes, definitely send your information my way. Sending it in the email. Like you did, Jennifer, is awesome because I take it and I put it right out there on the Blackboard shell and I share with all the adjuncts so they can do as well. And I'm glad you mentioned QuickBooks. We also do have a QuickBooks certification class. And it is taught by one of our full-time business instructors, Frank Caranci, and he's certified, and he makes sure that when students enter that class, they're certified as well. So you'll have an accountant or business tutor student, and they'll be certified in QuickBooks as well. So that's awesome. Cool. And as far as tax season, yes, come get these individuals. And yes, you should have all the internships you need, whether paid, not paid, is fine. The experience is so valuable. And I'm glad that you guys are offering these internships because I do remember when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, the school that I went to, I'm just going to say the school that I went to, it really wasn't pushed. It was get your degree and find your way. Whereas though, if you're majoring in nursing, no, it's not that way. You take your classes, you have clinical, you have experience. So by the time you graduate, you're ready to go right there to force. And so that's something that I'm looking to help promote students because they really do want this internship. Now, there is an internship program that we're starting in spring of 2022. It's in our business admin program, where students will meet with the instructor 1 hour a week and then 10 hours during the week, which will be a total of 150 hours during the semester. They will be working in their internship.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, and we're trying to offer them internships through individuals or references that we get from businesses like your own, from our career center, from this RCBC website called Simplicity. So we can try to get them, if you're majoring in marketing, management, accounting, finance, these are the skills, we're looking for. And we're actually in the work of doing that now. So the course is called Supervised Internship.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to teaching that. I will be teaching one course come this spring. So I'm hoping it goes well. We have a lot of students, about 50 or so students that will be enrolled to this program. So again, they will be looking for internship opportunities, paid or non-paid. That will be awesome. That will be awesome. And then that will give us an incentive to promote for those other students that come in those degree programs. Like, yes, we do have internships. Yes, come major in accounting, you will get the skills.
Yeah, especially if they're getting credit for it. I think it makes, the hands-on stuff you cannot beat in a classroom. So the hands-on would really work for them.
Yes, and it makes sense, especially when I'm teaching journal entries, or especially when I'm teaching reconciliations or balance sheet. You physically get to see it like, oh, and you see those students get it like this. Whereas though just in a classroom that doesn't have the hands-on, it's just like accounting is what? It's a whole other different language. What do you do? So it kind of makes my job more easier as well.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you both for joining me for this accounting day event. I want to honor both of you for being professional accountants in your fields. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the work that you do, even if you're just behind the scenes. I know you're here. I know.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
To recognize, and you're welcome to speak in my class if you choose to, or
Anytime.
another thing, I will definitely reach. Don't say that, Jennifer. Don't say
It can't be during tax time though. It has to be
I
after
know that's what you
15.
say. Not between this time. I know not to bother you guys, and I will not bother you guys at that time. So again, thank you so much for being guest panelists on my event for today. Very helpful, provide a lot of information. Students will be able to understand what accounting really entails, clear up some myths, and hopefully we'll see this as a good career path. Okay, so thank you guys both for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.